For 16 years, I hated my birthday. There was a dark, gloomy cloud that was over me every birthday because I lost my mom around my birthday and my brother on my birthday. So I never wanted to celebrate it. I hated it. But deep inside, I did want to celebrate it. I wanted to celebrate that I made it another year, but I just couldn't. Hey everyone, it's Audrey, and today on the Highlighted Life, what I wanted to do with you is share 3 highlights out of this book that really impacted me the most in being able to change my thoughts and change my attitude towards my birthday. So we're gonna jump in and I'm just gonna share with you those 3 highlights, and I'm praying that they can also make a huge impact on you as well. Let's jump in. I've been wanting to get on here and share this with you all since my birthday. And so this is the book that we just finished reading. All throughout the book, I'm going to tell you right now, like I have so many things highlighted in this book, and so did my sisters. There were so many good nuggets. I mean, just all kinds of notes that I took in here. But I wanted to share about my birthday and how this last birthday was honestly one of the best birthdays I have ever had. And it was because of the personal growth that I've been going through this year. And I have been very purposefully going through clearing out my mindset and clearing out all of the thoughts that we think every single day. And unfortunately, we are living like every single day. This is one of the things that I learned is every single day, every one of us is living in, I want to say it's either 95 or 98%. It's a lot of our subconscious minds. And so every day we just do things that subconsciously we're living it out. And there's only a very small percentage that we're living in the conscious brain. And that's where everything like takes place. That's where you get to change things, is when you bring it to the conscious, your mind, and be able to change the subconscious. And so I've really been focusing in on thoughts that come to my mind that are just there. And we normally don't even think what we're thinking, but when you stop to think what you're thinking, you're going to be blown away by what you're thinking. And then you're going to realize, wow, no wonder why my life is in this spiral going downhill, and that I just never seem like I can get up out of this same rut over and over and over again. And so that could be a financial rut, that could be a health rut, that could be a relationship rut. Whatever rut it is, you try so hard to get up out of that rut. And no matter what you do, it just seems like you come right back into it. And it all has to do with our mind. And so with this winning the war in your mind, I just wanted to read just 3 highlights. And out of these 3 highlights, this is why I had the best birthday ever. And so I just have some, let's see, on page 21 of this book, it says, "Who you are today is a result of your thoughts in the past." That hit me so hard. That was one of the first chapters. I think it was the first chapter in the book. So let me say that again. Who you are today is a result of your thoughts in the past. What you are living today, the life you are living today, is a result of all those thoughts that you've had in the past. And then the second thing is who you become in the future. Like if you're thinking that and you're going, goodness gracious, wow, okay, so I am today who I was thinking about in the past. And if you really start thinking about that, if you have always thought that, let's say if you've been overweight and you're like, you know what, that's just who I am. That's who I've always been. My mom was heavy. That's just our DNA. That's just how we were raised. I've tried everything that I can do. Nothing is working. And that is your thought process. And so that's where you're at today. If you're financial, on the financial side, I'm always broke. I'm never going to have enough money. I can't go on vacation. Everything when I get ahead, then I get hit back down and something big happens and it takes my money and I'm never going to amount to anything. Like I'm never going to have my own business. I'm never going to get ahead. If that is what you've been saying, and those are the subconscious thoughts, and trust me, along with the subconscious, there are physical things and situations and everything that actually are like, but look at what I'm living. Here's the situations. It's all true, right? So your thought process, that's who you are today. You're always going to be broke. So it's just when you really start thinking about that, who you are today as a result of your thoughts in the past. But here is the wonderful thing, is that who you become in the future will reflect what you think about today. We get to change what we think about. And what we think about is going to be the very thing that sends us in the trajectory of where we want to go. And that is where my journey has been, is that these thoughts, I am usually very happy. Anybody that knows me, you know, I'm positive. I'm always looking at the good in people. I'm always looking at the good in this situation. I look at the so that moments. Hey, this is happening so that God can do this. I'm very positive. But you guys, one thing you don't know is I battle with negative thoughts on a constant. I am constantly having negative thoughts bombard my mind, and I just couldn't do it anymore. And that's why this year I said, that's it. I'm taking my thoughts captive and I'm not allowing the enemy to beat me up anymore. That's it. No more. I'm drawing the line in the sand. I'm not doing this anymore. And so that's the journey I've been on. So then it brings me to this next highlight. And the next highlight in this book is it talks about, okay, let's see. It says, if you keep thinking you're a victim who never has a steady job or long-lasting relationships, you are training your brain to look for evidence which supports that belief and to filter out evidence which doesn't. You condition your brain to reinforce what you already believe. And then it goes on to say, your brain is designed to look for patterns and create neurological pathways to help you keep thinking the things you keep thinking and doing the things you keep doing. Here's the cool thing. We get to change our brain. I'll never forget looking at a scan of this lady who she was a client of mine. And I was taken on her website and she was doing like this brain study, okay, the physical brain. And she was going to Dr. Amen, which is a world-renowned probably neuroscience. I don't even know what he is, but I know he works on the brain and the neurological and neuro pathways and everything. And so she was going to him and changing her thought pattern. She changed her, not really her eating, because she was very, very clean eating and everything, but it was more of the thoughts. And so she was working, I don't think it was with him, but I don't know, she was working with the clinic. And she had showed me a scan of her brain that when she was younger, she was in a car accident and she had like a little nick in her brain somewhere. There was something in her brain on the scan. And after she went through 18 months, it was a year and a half of reprogramming her mind and the thoughts and what she thought and taking those thoughts captive and everything, her brain looked completely different. Like, not all of it, but I mean, in that area where she had a little nick was completely healed. And that her brain scan, like if you look at brain scans, there's like red and yellow and all these things. It was completely changed. Like everything looked different. And the only thing that she had changed was her thoughts. And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, we have the ability. Science shows us this. The Bible backs it up, is that we have the ability to physically change our brain just by what we think. And then taking that a step further is that as a man thinks, so is he. That's what scripture says. So if you think it and you are living that out and you're looking or I'm broke. I'm always going to be broke. We're never going to get ahead. Guess what? That's what's going to happen. That is exactly what's going to happen because, like it says, we look for evidence which supports the belief that we have. And then we filter out the evidence which doesn't. So, I mean, and we're conditioning our brain for this. So with that, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, we're on to something big, right? And then finally, 196 in the book. I'm telling you, if you don't have this book, go get this book because this is gonna change. It'll just change your mind. Okay, your life always moves in the direction of your strongest thoughts. What consumes your mind controls your life. And so that brings me to my birthday. As many of you know, I shared it last year, but for the 16 years up until last year, I hated my birthday with a passion. I hated it because it was on my 33rd birthday that I had to go up and I got in with my mom was on hospice and everybody was there. And I walked in and I just, my mom is being helped off the toilet and she's just praising Jesus in the middle of it. I just praise you, Jesus, praise you, Jesus. And then she comes out of the bathroom and she's just like, there's my birthday girl. And I could still hear her voice. And I prayed, I believed, I trusted God. I'm a prayer warrior, y'all. When I say I'm praying, like I am pulling scripture down. I am like bringing heaven into earth when I pray. And I just knew my mom was going to be healed on this side of earth. And when she wasn't, and she passed away, what, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 4 days after my birthday, that crushed me. And I went into a huge spiral. We don't need to talk about that because that's in the past. And it's like, so like God's just healed me so much. Then 6 years later, 2 days before my birthday, I leave my brother, my older brother, Ray, in the hospital room. And I told him, I said, I'm expecting you to call me on my birthday and tell me that you've been healed and you're walking up out of this hospital. He was like, okay, deal. And it was my sister who called on my birthday and told me that my brother passed away. Of course, to this day, I always sit there and say, if he was here, he'd be laughing. I know him. I know my brother Ray. He would be laughing. He'd be like, got the last laugh in. But since my mom's death, I couldn't stand my birthday. And I hated it even more because my daughters, my son, my husband, all my friends would try so hard to make me have such a good birthday. And then, of course, I felt so ashamed and so bad. So I would put on this fake smile and at least, yeah, thank you so much. Inside, I was dying. I just leave me alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be left alone. But I knew that they wanted to shower me with presents and be around me. And so I endured it for 16 years. I took my birthday off of Facebook and I figured anybody who knows me that's around me will just say happy birthday or not. I didn't care. I just wanted August to be over. I hated August. So it was last year that I decided, you know what? No, I'm going to embrace my birthday. And last year I did. I had a wonderful time, but it was still that lingering. It was my first year here. This year, for my 52nd birthday. Anybody who's over 50, y'all know. 52nd birthday. For the first time, instead of what I realized, I was telling my daughter Brianna this, is I said, Bree, for the first time I realized, and I'm just going to use like this person. Okay. So this is who I want it to be. I want it to be that person that embraced my birthday, that celebrated I look at my friends online and they celebrate for like the whole month. And I'm like, dang, okay, you celebrating you. I wish I could do that. But even just a day or a weekend, birthday celebration, but they were just so happy and are all around their friends and their family. And I wanted that so badly. And I was trying to get there. I wanted to be that person. So I did all the Christianese things. I spoke it. I read scripture. I pronounced it over me. I, was praise and worshiping. I was like, I am that person. I am that person. This is what I did this year, is instead of looking and saying, this is the person who I want to be, I literally stepped into that person this year. And I said, I am going to celebrate myself. I am going to celebrate my mom this year. I am going to be the birthday girl. And everybody is going to celebrate me because God created me and designed me. And I love myself. I'm beginning to love myself. And no pride or anything, but for the first time, I'm like, I love everything that God created me to be. And so I was like, I'm stepping into it. And that's what I did. I invited my son and my daughter. Brianna wasn't here. Missed you, dear. But I did that. I was like, I want everybody to come together. I want to do like dinner. And then my friend took me out on her boat with the family. And it was such a God thing. And I jumped off of a boat. I haven't jumped into water since I was 12 or 13 years old because of my contacts. And I see everybody all the time, like jumping in and the kids are splashing. And that was me. I used to do that, but because of my contacts and going into water and everything, I always freaked me out. I jumped off the boat. Like I got up there on that boat and let me tell you, I was like fear, trepidation, had everybody, of course, my grandsons. I was like, well, Audrey, you can't back out now. Your grandsons are down there. Go, okay, everybody's doing it. But I'm like trying to sit there in my mind. I'm like, you're okay, you got to do it. You just got to do it. What's the worst case scenario? A contact pops out and you can't see for the ride back home. It doesn't matter. You did it. And so I jumped out of the boat and I literally I celebrated me as God created me to be. And I'm finally getting also to the point where in this book, like, oh my goodness, people pleasing. That is me to a T. I don't say anything. I don't do anything. That's the reason why I don't jump on here that much anymore. It's because I'm always worried about what somebody's going to say. It's crazy. It just another mind thing I've got to get through. But I just felt like I needed to get on here and to share this because for the first time, instead of looking, and I always wondered, how do these people do it? How do they go from here to here when you're sitting there and you're speaking life and it's almost like a hope, like I hope I'm going to get there. I mean, I hope I'm going to be that person that loves my birthday. I hope I can celebrate my birthday. God, I hope people don't look at me and think, God, who are you that you think everybody wants to celebrate your birthday, Audrey? That's a little bit prideful, don't you think? I mean, it's just, but I finally was like, who cares? I don't care. This is what I want. I want to be happy-go-lucky. And I know both of my daughters can attest to this, is that it was truly freeing. It was probably very nice to be around mom this and to wish me a happy birthday this year. But more so than that, this was another thing, is when you are in that mental rut, it surprised me how many people reached out. It was almost like chains were broken even off of the people around me to where they could truly celebrate me and be happy for me. It's just, I can't explain it, but I realized how I don't want to say dark, but how heavy that was for all my loved ones to have to carry around for 16 years. And so I just want to challenge everybody. We are doing a book study because we do the book studies. And this book study, this time around is Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen. And it's stopping the spiral of toxic thoughts. I'm just on a big war path with my mind. And that is what I am sticking to. Like this year is something on the mind, my thoughts, changing that spiritually speaking. And then also, personal development. I've got other books that I'm reading too. So I do read 2 books a month. That's another thing. Okay, one more thing, and then I'm getting off of here. I could go on and on because I've learned so much. But on that 52nd birthday, I was reading one of the books, and this is what it said. It asked, what has to happen this next year for you to look back and say, that was the best year yet? And I started thinking about that. I was like, wow, I've heard that saying. I've heard that before. I've read a book where they've asked that very same thing. And when I was doing life coaching, that was like one of those things, those statements or those questions that really got to me. But it was more in about New Year's Eve. It was all about the year that we're living in. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I need to do that for my birthday. Audrey, what needs to happen in 50 this 52nd birthday, you being 52 years old, what has to happen this year for you to look back when you turn 53, the morning of turning 53, what has to happen for you to say, that was the best year yet? And every year from then, it's going to be the best year. But that's just something that I've also been meditating on, and I wrote it down. I wrote down what has to happen in my financial, what has to happen in relational, what has to happen spiritually, what has to happen mentally and emotionally, what has to happen in my business. I wrote it down. I was like, if I'm going to wake up on my 53rd birthday and look back and say this was the best year yet, this is it. Now, if it doesn't all come to pass, it doesn't matter, but you write the vision, you put it plain, and you put it before you. And so I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about what God is going to do in my life and through my life to help others. That's what I'm most excited about. All right. I love you all. Thank you very much for coming by, and I'll talk to you guys later. Love y'all. Bye.